Yeah.
I want to tell you something.
Young flower pie. Yeah.
How you guys doing? It's your boy Mike.
Hey, it's Vaughn.
We're here with the first podcast co-hosting for Citizen Cinema.
Yeah, how's it going, everyone?
Vaughn, tell people about yourself a little bit, bro.
Oh, man, I do film editing in Hollywood. Been working with Mike for a long time. We're collabing on different projects. Got some exciting ones coming up. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at I'm a Film Editor. Follow all the projects I do there. It's very fun.
Tell them about your YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah, the YouTube channel is called The Filmmaking and Fandom Station. We had a special guest recently, Stephen Estonite, director of Pacific Rim Uprising, creator of Netflix Daredevil. Me and Mike sat down for 2.5 hours, just cracked out about spoilers. You can even find a separate interview with Stephen tonight about his career on Citizen Cinema.
All right, guys, this is your boy Mike Fallon. For those tuning in for the first time, I haven't followed my video format of interviews and recording. My name is Mike Fallon. I dance, write, act, filmmake. I do everything but sing. I was actually in the first 5 minutes of the movie La La Land. The second movie I worked out is coming out this year called Be the Light, and I'm probably a third at the end of this year. Starting pre-production on another one coming soon. I can't talk too much about it right now, but once it's out there, I can make the public announcements. You'll hear about it on follow-up interviews. So today for this episode, for the first ever Citizen Cinema podcast, we're going to talk about a couple different subjects. Yeah. The first one that's been, messing with people. What's your feelings about the new 007 leaked news?
Oh, man. Well, here's the thing, Mike. I have a couple of sources that are working on that project.
Okay.
And before this entire thing came out, we were hearing rumblings because Phoebe Waller-Bridge was brought on as an additional screenwriter. And usually what happens is if you come and do a few rewrites here and there, you don't usually get credited. You have to do 30% or more of the script to actually get a credit on it. She came on, did some major rewrites, and that's why they had that production hell halt for a little bit on the project. Even when Daniel Craig broke his leg, I believe they went back and rewrote some stuff.
Okay.
And Phoebe Waller-Bridge wrote in this female character that would stand as 007 while James Bond was on retirement. Because I don't know how much we want to get into spoilers, but the only thing I will say about it, as far as it's known, is that at the end of Spectre, Blofeld was kept alive. Mm-hmm. And Blofeld is the Joker to James Bond's Batman. He is his main bad guy.
He's the antithesis of his whole character.
That's right. And if you remember Spectre, he talks about how he's the one behind everything, behind every horrific act that had happened to Bond, which was the death of Vesper Lynn, the death of M, Judi Dench's M. That's why Ralph Fiennes came in. So Blofeld was kept alive for a reason. And from the end of Spectre, what we find out is that Blofeld was kept alive, and you have that one shot of Blofeld looking at Bond and Madeline Swan, who ended up together. Dr. Madeline Swan, played by Léa Seydoux. Mm-hmm. He was looking at them like, "You caught me this time, but I'm gonna f you up, guys. I'm gonna f you guys up later." And this Bond 25 is rumored to take a lot of heavy inspiration from other Bond stories and movies. And what happens is in one of the Bond movies, Blofeld kills Bond's wife, and we believe that that's going to happen here. When Bond is retired, at the end of Spectre, he throws the gun away. He wants to go. They even have the shot of him and Madeline driving off. Mm-hmm. So it's happily ever after for Bond. He found his new Vesper Lynn, so to speak, the one that she's in love with him, and he's in love with her. It's a tight group knit, and what happens is she's probably going to get killed, and that's what's going to bring Bond out of retirement. But until then, we have a new supposed 007 that's going to be taking over until Bond comes back. And at that point, we're this rumor that Lashana Lynch is going to be playing that character. And what's crazy, Mike, is that a while ago, a couple of months back, I don't know if you remember this, but it was rumored that Lashana Lynch would play a Bond girl. Mm. But that was recently debunked, but her name came up again. And now what we're hearing is that she'll stand for 007. And personally, I don't like it. It has nothing to do with the race. It has nothing to do with Lashana Lynch. I think she's a fine actor.
Okay.
We found out her acting chops in Captain Marvel. She was great.
Yeah.
Very talented actress. But a lot of people, especially the British culture, is not going to be okay with that because James Bond 007 is, again, has nothing to do with race. It's like you don't have to change stuff for the sake of changing shit. So basically, people, I think, are going to have an outcry on this because she could be another 00 agent that takes over from it. Why do it have to be a 007 character? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are going to have a problem with that.
All right, well, that's a portion of people. I think people like me, though, I'm cool with it. I'm actually looking forward to it. Now, my views on this is just, we're having an open discussion for those listening. We're not here to put nobody down, guys.
No,
for
those
sure. This is
I'm 50-50 on it. It's not going to ruin the movie for me.
I'm the majority. For my section, I'm more than 50% happy with her casting. Now, the reason why I'm happy are a few different things. First thing for me, I feel with my personal interactions of the British culture, meeting with British people, I got friends that are from over there. From my day job, I worked with other people from that culture. I think they'll be cool with it, man. I mean, especially what I've been seeing in like the last few years with the shift in paradigm in British cinema and TV. I mean, they've made Doctor Who female. They have more female-led characters, stronger characters in different series. Like, for me, I'm really excited for it because I feel like she's going to kill it. And plus, as an actor, for what I've seen and talked to other actors about, a lot of the British people are taking a lot of more jobs than us because of how disciplined they are in their training. So
one can argue that the Brits invented acting, bro. You know what I'm saying? Well, it really revolutionized it with the theater and all that. So they take it very seriously down there.
Yeah, I mean, they revolutionize and whatnot. But, there's great actors from all parts of the world and stuff of that nature. But for me, I'm excited because she's not playing a female James Bond, but a separate character taking over from James Bond. And I don't feel there's anything wrong with the female James Bond.
I don't either.
But I understand what they're trying to do. They're pulling a Falcon Endgame
to Captain America,
to
Steve Rogers,
which makes sense. It's because if it's a name, a ideal, I'm okay with it being a woman.
And this is why, and I know I said in the beginning that it's going to piss some people off, and I knew I had a little reservation about it. But and I've been thinking about this for a couple of days now.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm starting to come around to it is because she's just taking over until Bond comes back. Everybody has to calm down and relax and realize that Daniel Craig's going to step back in. He's going to take the role, and this is his last Bond movie. Mm-hmm. So we don't know who the reboot is going to cast. Had Lashana Lynch, when the movie comes out, tested well with the audience and responded, can we see her instead of rebooting Craig's universe? Can we see the reboot be sort of a sequels of sorts and have Lashana Lynch come in and be the new Bond? Because Cavill's out, he's too busy. We already know with Idris Elba, they called him too street, and he ain't gonna do it.
Well, I mean that's open for that's a whole thing.
Different discussion, but
they didn't say it was the writer of Spectre who made derogatory ignorance, because
towards Elba, yeah.
He said Idris didn't have enough swag or appeal.
Which I don't believe. I think he can kill that.
So I really don't care about the opinions of a small-minded individual of that caliber. I'm sorry, guys. I know we're not supposed to pull people down and everything. I just feel that if you can't see what everybody else sees in that context, and you're saying Idris Elba
is too street,
that makes zero sense.
Zero sense, because I'm for it. If they cast Idris Elba as James Bond, that'd be tight. That'd be great.
I mean, Idris Elba showed himself to be dapper, suave. He can pull it off.
Man, have you watched Luther?
Yeah, I'm like, and not just that, his versatility, Luther, The Wire as Stringer Bell, other things he's done. So that's a whole different subject for a whole different day. But
make your own opinions, guys. You gotta come up with your own opinions. If you don't like it for your own personal reasons, that's fine. That's your opinion. But don't agree with other people just to agree with other people.
And plus, don't be in that old paradigm about whatchamacallit, that it has to be a certain race and whatnot,
or gender and stuff like that.
The way I see James Bond is the same way I see Zorro, Batman, Superman. They are an ideal.
And here's my take on it, right?
Okay.
That's why I said, at first I had reservations, but then when I started to think about it for a couple of days, after my source told me about it, and then after it came out and broke out as news, that man, her casting will be perfect, and as that character. But beyond that, it doesn't matter what the gender is or the race is. as long as the integrity and the ideals of the character still remain intact, and you respect what the James Bond character is about,
I'm down with it.
And what they stand for, that's all that matters. Just don't ruin the lore. Just don't ruin what that character's personality is.
And she won't at all.
I don't think she will, man. She killed it as that Air Force pilot, bro.
I know. I mean, I know she's done other work previously, but I have not watched it.
And she's British too. A lot of people don't know that.
That's what I'm saying.
She killed it with that American accent in Captain Marvel, bro. Yeah. Nobody really knew that coming.
That's what happens. The same thing with Idris Elba as Stringer Bell, or Jax from Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah,
it happens, man. So what I'm saying is this, guys. I know I'm here with my co-host Vaughn right now. So he has his views. I have my views. Let us know what you think about it. Like,
put it in the comments below.
Comments. Reshare this. Repost with your own personal views. Are you for it? Are you against it? I'm for it.
I'm starting to get for it. Like, I had my reservations on being a giant James Bond fan.
Yeah, I'm a giant James Bond fan too, and I feel that if we're gonna treat him like a mythical character, like Batman's being treated like a mythical.
Which Craig's series has also been that realistic tone.
I mean, look what happened to Captain America, bro. In the comics, there's 6 Captain America.
Legends. And all of them stand apart as being one of the greatest superheroes of all time.
And the funny thing is, Steve Rogers is not even the first Captain America.
Yeah.
The first Captain America, for those who haven't read, he is a black man.
Yep.
And I blanked out on what his name is right now. Sorry, I forget.
It's online. You can look it up.
It's online. That guy's grandson became part of the Young Avengers.
Yep.
So
I remember those comics.
Yeah, it went him. It went Steve Rogers, U.S. Agent, Bucky, Falcon, and then I can't recall.
There was somebody else.
It was somebody else.
Yeah.
That took up the shield, but I know
it's all. If you look at it on Wikipedia, it's all of the line.
There.
Speaking of Marvel,
okay,
man, Avengers Endgame, like that box office.
Oh yes, a good segue you got there.
There you
going,
go.
Bro. I see you out here.
I see.
I see what you trying to do out here for the listeners, dog. Okay.
Oh, I am, man. You know how it is. But Avengers Endgame, man,
is about. They were saying it's $17 million shy.
Yeah.
Of taking over Avatar.
And if you don't mind, let me explain what they mean by that. A lot of people thought when the movie got re-released with, the special end credit sequence or the deleted scene with the Hulk, they thought that, it's never going to catch it because it's only for a certain amount of theaters are doing it. But even then, a lot of auditoriums were still playing the movie regardless if it was re-released or not. But then what we found out was, according to these reports, that only the U.S. and the U.K. got the re-release. The rest of the world ain't got that re-release yet. So when that hits,
it's going to hit good.
And it's going to be crazy because the Blu-ray comes out August 13th.
But we're talking about box office only, bruh.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. It's going to be crazy that they're going to hit it even before the Blu-ray comes out shortly. That's going to be crazy.
That's how it goes because they're $7 million shy.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, guys, I feel like with the re-release, I feel they should have added actual additional scenes into the cut.
Especially with that the scene that they confirmed with Tony seeing his daughter in the Soul Stone after he snapped his fingers, bro.
That would have been dope.
Everybody wanted to see that. Everybody thought that everybody was saying that was the rumor going in. I was like, shit, like that was gonna be tight.
I know.
Hopefully, Blu-ray, man. We're gonna cross our fingers we'll see that on the Blu-ray.
But they should just,
And apparently, it was done. Apparently, visuals were done too. Like it was all finished.
Yeah, man, we'll find out. That's just a little disappointing.
Shout out to the Russos, man. We got to see him.
About a year ago at the ArcLight?
Yeah, at the ArcLight. Hit it up with them. It was tight.
It's funny. Me and Vaughn, some of our questions went viral.
We saw it. You guys must have seen that. I asked my IMAX Blu-ray question, which a lot of people were curious of why the IMAX format did not make it to the Blu-ray.
And then for me, I asked them about Beta Ray Bill. Because I want to know, why did you bring in Stormbreaker and not Beta Ray?
And then the next day, every comic book frenzy website was talking about Russo brothers, talk about Beta Ray Bill and alternate Avengers Infinity War plot.
Yeah, it was savage.
It was crazy.
Oh, yeah, the clips on our online.
Mine's on my YouTube channel. Mike's is on his YouTube channel, which you're listening to right now.
It's
crazy. I'm going to link it in the description box below.
True. Also, let's talk about this Batman rumors casting.
Oh, man. Like, first of all, let me say this. Matt Reeves' Batman trilogy is going to be dope. Because Matt Reeves did the second Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and then he did War for the Planet of the Apes. This dude's going to kill it with the Batman. Let's just put it out there.
So there's no doubt here. And for those, if you have your own reservations about Robert Pattinson, good for you. Personally, for me, I was one of the ones that were like, oh, it's Edward from Twilight. When I was younger, But as the years go by, and Robert, if you hear this, I'm not trying to kiss your butt. I'm gonna be real, bro. I respect your growth as an actor.
Fantastic.
Because you've done more serious roles. But the thing for those, if you haven't seen it, I'm not recommending it to underage viewers. But if you want to watch a good, messed up drama that shows his serious side and his acting chops, watch Robert Pattinson A Good Time.
That was fantastic. One of my favorite movies that year, bro.
For those who don't know and want a little taste, it is about a criminal who takes his handicapped brother on a robbery.
Yep.
And after stealing and getting ruined because of the paint from when you steal, they ruined $16,000 because they opened like the bank bag. And what happens is the brother that's handicapped goes to jail and gets caught. And Robert has to get $16,000 additional dollars to save his brother.
And it's crazy to think about, man. Like, he did such an amazing job in that movie, but also after ending the Twilight franchise, he entered in this frenzy of just independent movies, and that gave him the opportunity to do some really out there roles that really changed his viewpoint with the audience. And from what we're hearing with Batman and Matt Reeves, is he's taking it in a very noir direction, just like the Batman noir comics took it. And he's going to put a very independent movie flavor into his Batman trilogy rumored, but we're hearing that that's going to be the case if this movie's successful.
Because DC needs it.
DC needs it. However, Matt Reeves is a fantastic choice. I've always been behind him, always been behind Pattinson, because like you, Mike, I've watched his movies, I've watched him grow as an actor, and the way that Matt Reeves is going to take this into a very independent kind of feel with, and we know the budget ain't that high. We know they're going to keep the budget similar to where the Joker is, maybe a little higher.
They're going to pull a Deadpool, y'all. They're pulling a Deadpool.
They're pulling a Deadpool, and it's going to kill it. Because they have more opportunity here. Instead of worrying about budget, they're going to worry about the story, and they're going to kill it. And we know Matt Reeves is going to give Robert Pattinson killer dialogue because we know he's writing the script.
So what we need to talk about too are the rumored casting. So they're looking for a new Riddler, Two-Face, Firefly,
Catwoman,
Penguin, and one of my personal favorites, they're looking for a new Mad Hatter.
Wow, because remember back in the day when they announced Ben Affleck's Batman movie, and when he was going to direct, his rumor was that in his script was Batman facing all of the rogues galleries. I love that they took that conceit of that idea, and Matt Reeves was like, instead of like introducing all the villains in individual movies, we're going to do it just like the comics did. Batman's going to face all of his rogues gallery, and as fans, we know who they are. It's just going to be spectacular.
Yeah, for those who don't know, also what has been rumored for this is two different things. First off, I've been hearing actually the reason why they're doing certain characters, and they might not be announcing the rest of them, they might be doing a live-action version of The Long Halloween.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing too, and that's what I've been hearing that the movie is actually really based around on.
Yes.
And even The Dark Knight had a little of that flavor. The Tonely
Just a
had that
smidgen.
flavor.
I think it was more of The Dark Knight Rises had it because of the whole year gap.
Yeah, the whole year gap.
What not year, but like the was it 6 month gap with
no, it was 8 years with Dark Knight Rises.
No, I'm talking about like within the film. Remember with Tom Hardy and Bruce Wayne gets captured?
Yeah, that's 6 months in the pit.
Six
and
months
that's also from the Nightfall comics where Batman gets his back broken by Bane.
Got you.
Yeah.
Also, Vaughn, if you want to tell him, what was the other casting rumor for Catwoman so far?
Oh, wow. Well, just a little put it in there. Mike and I got to see Hobbs and Shaw recently.
We saw it last night,
at
guys.
the world premiere. It was fantastic.
Yes.
Wait for our review for that because that's coming out soon. Vanessa Kirby, who was who plays Hattie Shaw in that movie, and then plays the White Widow in Mission Impossible Fallout. And for you folks who watch The Crown, she was also in that. So, and she's very talented. We know she can do action. We know she's a very flexible action heroine, and she's gonna kill it as Catwoman if that comes true, man. Like, she has the face. Yeah. Another Brit, man. Other Brits all talented.
Taking over some British invasion.
Hey, but it's gonna be tight. I love that casting, bro. We were just talking about this.
Yo, man, it's gonna be dope. Like, I feel like with the way things are with movies, everything's gonna be popping. And then I want to lastly, if we want to still stick on the DC, we can still stay DC for all y'all listening. There is a rumored casting for the Blue Beetle. Have you guys heard about this?
Yeah, I've heard about this, yeah.
So the gentleman's name I cannot recall it at the time.
Yeah.
I'll post it in the video.
We talked about this before.
It was a young man, maybe around like the age of 24.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, we're gonna do more updates from the next episode. But for Blue Beetle, if you guys don't know who Blue Beetle is, he's a Justice League member.
Yep.
To make it super simple, I would say he's a mixture between an Iron Man and Venom hybrid.
And a little bit of Martian Manhunter put in there because of the alien-like quality. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
it has the Venom part. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. There you go. Symbiote.
That's why I said the Venom. So for those who don't know, let's break it down. So the Blue Beetle is originally a rich Caucasian man named Ted Kord, part of the Justice League. But he gets taken out. He dies.
Yep.
And they do a version of this on the TV show Young Justice, for those who haven't seen it.
Fantastic.
So in that version and other iterations of it, Blue Beetle, after he dies, the young man's name is Brandon Lauraconte.
Yep.
Is that the Blue Beetle, Ted Kord, after he passes away, you find out that he found an object. It's like a big old beetle the size of a backpack almost. It's a scarab. That's what they also call it. And what happens is that it becomes active after Ted dies.
Yep.
And it finds and attaches itself to a young Hispanic kid named Jaime Reyes.
Yep.
Now, when Jaime gets infected, well, not infected, but becomes, I would say, partially joined with this thing,
Yeah.
like Venom, you find out that the unit is sent from a race of aliens called the Reach.
Yep.
And the Reach, what they like to do is they send these scarabs to different societies and planets. The scarabs go, they affect a host, take over their body, and they murder the populace or make them weak enough to be captured by the Reach.
And you realize that if they ever do, when they come up with a live action version of this, there's going to be a lot of alien inspired kind of things in there, because what you were just talking about, their race, the way they attack their hosts, the way they do when they attack worlds, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And have a very alien approach to that, and I think that'd be pretty tight.
Yeah, it's not yet confirmed if Brandon is our official Blue Beetle.
It's in the talks right now.
But the young actor actually posted pictures of a lot visit to Warner Brothers, and then after that he posted a lot of Blue Beetle comics. Now, the thing is, too, for those who don't know, so I can finish the story about the Blue Beetle origins in a brief nutshell, as condensed as possible. So, Jaime Reyes gets attacked by the unit. It attaches itself to his body. And what happens is the unit cannot take over Jaime Reyes because it is damaged. It's been around for thousands of years, since ancient Egypt. Now, the damaged unit and Jaime are forced to share the body together. So they'll have a odd couple Venom type relationship where the unit doesn't understand humanity and Jaime has explained humanity to the unit, the scarab that's on his back. Because once the unit defends Jaime, it puts an entire alien armor, like Iron Man, almost like Endgame Infinity War type armor around his body.
Nanotech, sort of.
Sort of, but like a Reach version of nanotech.
Yeah.
Where he can make guns, lasers, knives, all types of
Just
weapons.
thought of his mind, you know?
Thought of his mind. Sort of like
Green Lantern.
a little bit of
With the
Green
ring,
Lantern.
yeah.
A smidgen.
Smidgen.
Because like this,
You think it?
it's limited.
You can manifest what you want.
Let's say he's like Green Lantern Light.
Yeah.
Of that context, because ain't no way he can see Green Lantern on that construct game, son.
Yeah.
This is be real. But I'm gonna say this, guys. I think that the story is beautiful in itself, because
Epic.
this is actually a good opportunity to put in a good light, as it should be, more of the Hispanic culture, Latinx, Hispanic, Spanish, however you guys want to call it. I myself am part Peruvian, so I guess I have a little bit of skin in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see, because like we're gonna show the family dynamic. Because let's really put in perspective. It is a child, a young adult, a teenager, getting attached, infected, however you want to see it, by an alien weapon that can't completely take him over, and doesn't understand how he is, how humanity works, and how's that gonna affect his family, his abuela, his grandmother, the tios. How are his uncles, aunts,
How's
cousins?
his family going to react to this stuff that's happened?
Because imagine if you guys went to like family gathering, Thanksgiving, Christmas,
And out of nowhere,
one of your younger family members becomes an alien living weapon.
and you would try to keep that secret as long as you possibly can.
Yeah, and for those who aren't privy, I'm not going to say ignorant, even though ignorant by definition is lack of knowledge. For those who aren't privy or hip to how the Latin community is very family oriented.
Oh yeah.
Family is a deep-seated, personal thing in every Latin person I've ever seen. Even for myself growing up, family is very important to Latinos and Spanish people. However you want to identify them, it is A1 above most things. So to see that tested by something unnatural and very foreign, and hence alien, meaning foreign, we're going to see how that gets played out.
Be a very interesting version of the story.
Exactly, because how are they really going to dig at it? Or who's going to play Ted Cord?
Yeah.
Like, will he even be a factor in it? Are they going to go Venom route and cut out the main hero that led to this hero's creation?
No, you gotta. If I wanted to see that live action, man, we gotta have the whole story in there. So it'd be a very emotional story.
Exactly. Like, we go from a billionaire salvaging a piece of alien tech, and after he dies, it goes and ruins this kid's life as a gift
to
and a
somebody
curse.
who never asked for this
At all.
It just happened.
So, for those who don't know, there's a funny scene in Young Justice, which they could put
into the movie.
Context of it. He volunteers at a youth shelter and he finds a girl very attractive. But because of his pheromone levels rising in his body, the alien takes over his hand and tries to murder the girl because he thinks that she's a threat. Because, like I said, the machine itself is ignorant to human nature and how we work as people. So he thinks him being attractive to her is a physical threat to Jaime himself. Yep. So stuff of that nature, I really want to see in the script. Because, like, Warner Bros. Has a perfect opportunity. I hate to say it like this, but let's call it as it is. It is a Hispanic or, keyword, Mexican version of Black Panther.
It is.
Because it's not going to be a Killmonger versus Black Panther in that context, but you have a culture that hasn't really been represented perfectly on screen yet in the superhero genre.
That's right.
I mean, we've gotten good black heroes and white heroes, but we still have yet to see good Asian heroes, Indian. What else?
Shang-Chi
coming out next year, but
it'd be great.
But Marvel, like, where are they at with their Hispanic hero? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I want to see. This is what makes me happy, is that we are seeing diversity
in our characters, in our superheroes, in our pop culture.
Everybody's getting representation. I want to see more of those stories told, man. I want to see the Camilla Khan story.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the stories we see on screen with that.
Oh my God, man. And then plus with all the dope Asian characters we got and characters from around the world, man. Like we need like dope Portuguese characters, Chinese, Thai, Filipino. That's what I'm waiting on too, man. I want all of it.
And it goes back to the fact, why does Fast and Furious franchise succeed? Because it's multicultural. You know what I'm saying? It appeals to everybody. Little
bit of an ending here, guys. We're gonna jump right back into what me and Vaughn went through yesterday at the Fast and Furious premiere.
Oh man, Hey, your turn. You segued into that. I saw you do that.
I had to, man.
Yeah, oh, man.
I got to meet. We got to meet what? Cliff Curtis.
Yeah, that was tight.
That was
David
dope.
Leitch, director.
Yo, David Leitch, shout out to you, bro. For those who don't know, we're gonna post this before the movie comes out. It's August 2nd when it drops. I'm not gonna ruin the movie for you.
I'm not gonna ruin it either.
We're gonna give you.
Director David Leitch asked not to give out spoilers because there's stuff in there that is gonna be a great surprise and fun time for y'all.
All we're gonna say is this: there are 2 funny character cameos that will blow you away.
It's gonna be awesome.
And there is 2 mid-credit and 1 post-credit scene,
which were hilarious.
Please stay for the credits, after the credits. Again. Stay for the credits and after the credits, guys.
Listen to Tyler Bates' amazing score in that credits, man. He killed it.
Yeah. So, again, y'all, this is Mike. You can catch me at KingdomKid90, Instagram, Twitter. If not, just Google Mike Fallon, Fallon with an I. Like, almost like Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
But I think I'm a little better looking and funny.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
How about you, Vaughn?
Yeah, you can find me at I'm a Film Editor on Twitter and Instagram, and that's where we post all the projects. All the editing I do, all the IMAX stuff I'm involved with, some of the movie news I put out. Put some scoops on there. We got some scoops in the past, yeah,
a little bit here and there.
A little bit here and there. And then Mike is active on Twitter as well, with me and him talking about projects. You can find me there.
Stuff is about to get crazy, son.
Yeah, and then look for this in every future episode that we do on the Citizen Cinema channel.
Peace.